Warrior show. For those of you who are watching this for the first time, this show is something that we do once a month, and we bring in someone from our tribe, from our community, one of our wellness warriors, people who come to us and kind of walk the journey towards good health. And then they share their experiences of that entire process, what it looked like, what it felt like for them. Today I have Sulekha here, whom we used to call Mani for like I just knew you as Mani, and today I discovered your name is Sulekha. So we're going to continue to address you as Mani for the show. But yeah, so welcome on the show, Mani, and thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I am not going to introduce you to the audience because I've seen that people actually self-introduce themselves the best. I can never do justice to who you are as well as you can talk about yourself. So why don't you tell the audience who you are?
Thank you so much, Mugdha. I'm so glad to be here. No matter how short notice it was, it's always a pleasure to talk to the tribe team, be with my community. I'm proud to call it my community because I have earned that position, I guess. So
Yes.
yeah, I am Mani. I work in the I work with a digital marketing company, and I live in Delhi right now. And how I was introduced to iThrive was from a dear friend who is Mugdha's friend. So it was one fine day, a regular thyroid checkup. So I have thyroid since the age of 18. And having thyroid since the age of 18 really bothered me because none of my friends had it, and I used to be shy. I did not used to tell my friends, my dates, my colleagues that I have thyroid. I just used to pop the pills in the morning and forget about it for the rest of the day. But eventually, since the pandemic began, a lot of issues started coming up. Of course, thyroid was also getting intensified, and I was sitting in the clinic one day when my dear friend told me that okay, people are reversing their diseases, lifestyle diseases, chronic diseases organically in a good way. Why are you still popping the pills? Go ahead and give this a try. So, having come from a position where I had tried multiple things like high intensity workshops, sattvic food, and whatnot.
Wow, I didn't know you tried all of these things.
Yeah, I am coming from a long journey, and I have tried multiple things to kind of get better with thyroid or reverse thyroid. And by this time, I had reached a point where I thought nothing could be done, and there's no hope. My body is not losing weight, no matter what I do. My brain fog conditions is not getting better. My fatigue is not getting better, and all the symptoms and all the side effects of thyroid that we can talk about were not getting better. They were intensifying month after month, year after year. And I just used to think that popping a pill in the morning will solve everything, which was not the case. So when my friend told me about iThrive, with a small heart, shrunken hope, and still little bit of hope inside me, I said, okay, let's give this a try. And I have tried so many things, then why not this? And before I came to iThrive, I think I had been working on my emotional regulation, emotional wellness, my nervous system regulation, which has been dysregulated for a really long time. And for the last 23 years, I would say. So this came as a miracle in my life, to be honest. And universe allowed me to, get hold of this. And I was so blessed that I took that
So
step. Yeah. Yeah.
thank you for saying that, right? Like, say that what we do for people, because to me also, when I see your
Yeah.
journeys, right, like you and so many other people who are part of the tribe, like conventionally called as clients, but I just think of everyone as a community. To see the results, to see the impact we have on their lives, I only feel like, oh wow, this is a miracle that's happening, and it's really the miracle of the human body, right? Like to
Right.
see how the body, like every person's body responds, right? It's not like
Hmm.
oh, we just did it one. No matter what condition somebody comes to us with, we've seen how the body is like just waiting for that right piece of information, for that
Right.
knowledge, for that support, for the raw material it needs, and then it just starts fixing itself. And it's always a miracle to witness that. And I'm so glad and I'm so thankful you brought that word into this conversation, right? Because to me, it really is that. I mean,
Yes.
it's science and it's blood tests and it's evidence and it's data, it's research, all of that is there, right? But this is something that goes beyond that, right? Like for me, this work is my. Someone had once told me that your business is your spiritual, like your business is a front for your spiritual work, right? Like
Yes. Yes.
how
It is.
countries have gold jewelry shops as their front for their business.
Yes. I do believe that it's more about the higher service that you're providing to the world, and business, money, abundance is all the side effect of that, nothing
Yeah.
else. So yeah,
Thank you so much
and
for coming from that perspective and saying that. And a big shout out to Vijay also for introducing you to us and bringing you into the community, because it's really been magical to witness your journey, right? Like it's been so powerful. So you were saying thyroid, right? Like were there any other health issues that brought you to us? Like what were,
yes.
like you said you've been working on so many things, right? So could you just detail that out for the people who are watching? What
Yes,
exactly is going on?
definitely. It's not just thyroid. I had been facing anxiety issues for the last 3, 4 years. I had depression at one point of time during pandemic, where things were getting very jittery, things were very unhopeful, and there was no light at the end of the tunnel. But while working on all the emotional journey, all the trauma healing, and all the childhood issues that I encountered during this time, I was reading Louis Hay at the time when my friend introduced me to iThrive, and I really feel that was a signal for me to actually jump from emotional wellness to physical wellness as well, because mind, body, spirit connectedness, it works with the cluster. It's not just one thing. If I heal my emotional issues, if I go to therapy, that's not going to solve everything. It requires a full focus on body, on physical level, how emotions are stored in the body, and how emotions are stuck inside the brain. So it's a cluster of everything. So if one I am a really a proponent of this thing, that if one really wants to get better in life, self actualize themselves, it's not just one thing. It's a bundle of many things, and physical health is one of them, which is very important. I did not understand its impact before joining iThrive, before witnessing the changes that I have right now. But after enduring this, I am a big proponent of it, and I would like to spread this word to the world and let them know that
It
one
is.
thing is not everything. Physical body, physical health, emotional health, spiritual hygiene, everything matters.
Yeah, and I talk about this as well, right? That
Hmm.
like a lot of people reach out to me in my DMs, etc., saying like they're suffering from depression and anxiety and they want support with that. And I tell them that like the body is the foundation, right? Like, see, the
Hmm.
experience we have here as human beings only happens because we live inside a body. Like, you wouldn't experience life as a human being if you didn't have this body. You would just be a spirit
Definitely.
consciousness,
Hmm.
which means you have to integrate every single experience, whether you're processing trauma or whether you're actually experiencing joy and pleasure and bliss, or whether you're experiencing emotions like guilt and shame, or whether you're experiencing emotions like anger. Everything is experienced only via body. Like
Right.
even an emotional experience is generated within the body. Even your psychological frameworks exist because your brain has created these wireframes for kind of dealing with environmental inputs. So
Right.
without your body, you really aren't experiencing anything at all on this planet. And then if you want to alter your experiences, which is what a lot of the work about, like around mental health and like growth as, or evolution or personal growth as, even evolving your consciousness, right? If you want to it's really you trying to alter your reality. Now you can't change your reality much if your body can't process all of this big work. it's,
Right.
it's like you might be the most amazing designer, architect, interiors, or like an artist, but if your house has broken plumbing, if the pipes
Right.
are broken, or if the windows are cracked, or if there are mosquitoes and bugs and like cockroaches all over the place, or it's dirty
Right.
or filthy, right? Which basically
Hmm.
is like bacterial viral stuff or toxins or like your dysfunctional systems. If your house is in that condition, no matter how creative and how intelligent and how amazing you are, you can't do your work because your attention like is never going to go to that work of creativity. It's always going to be like all these broken issues and the house
Right.
sounds and all of that, right? So it's super important that you first clean up your house. You
Right.
fix it. And then you
Mm-hmm.
start doing the work that you were designed for. Like as a creative being, as a person who brings in flow, it could be anything, right? Your individuated consciousness could be here for anything on the planet. But you can't do that if your body is not working well, right? Like I keep giving people this example that first the body
Right.
simultaneously, and actually Avinash and I do this work with a lot of people now, right? And I call it like embracing the human experience, because that is what it is. Like whether you're talking about mental
Mm-hmm.
health, whether you're talking about emotional health, whether you're talking about like going deep into your soul, even doing like soul retrieval and shamanic practices. Why are you doing all of that? Is because you want to embrace the entirety of your human experience as money, and for that you need your
Right.
body. So I'm so proud of you for like being able to like think this through, put it, integrate it, and like articulate it so well. So beautiful, and
Thank
I'm
you so
glad.
much. It has taken a lot of time, and I'm really grateful for iThrive team and especially you listening to your calling. You know, it just takes one human being to listen to their calling to create so much of impact. I am pretty sure it must have been so difficult for you when you
It
were in that
was
position of starting your business or listening to your calling, what you should do and what you should not do. But I have to say this: it just takes one human being
it
to
does
listen to their calling, and thousands and lakhs, and what number of people's lives change. That is the amount of impact that you make, and that is beyond what a good karma could be.
exactly.
So yeah.
So that's what I speak about. Like this morning, also in my life, I spoke about individuated consciousnesses, right? Like how you become individuated on your journey as you go deeper and start doing all the inward work. And that's basically like just listening to your calling, and like you were designed for something.
Right.
You live with your design, you align with it, and the world shifts for you. Like it really does, right? So now we have this beautiful community, like which you are part of. We have the academy where we're creating so many more healers.
Right.
It happened because I listened to my calling, and you are listening to your calling, and you're on that journey to like getting closer to it. You're working on your body, you're working on your mind, and you'll get there. And you know how difficult that journey is, because you have to process all the things that held you back. I had to walk out of a marriage, like it was a complete narcissist, and I didn't even know it at that time.
Hmm.
And doing that meant going against society, including
Hmm.
my own family. And for a while, I was ostracized. I was the bad guy. I was
Hmm.
going against stuff. But now they see as well, right? Like that, I didn't give up, and like the amount of change that's happening in the world, and that's something that's an important lesson for everyone listening to this. So good work, Kumani. How was your journey? Who was your primary nutritionist? Who was your coach?
My health coach was Pankhudi and my nutritionist was Shayonika. I have to say how gentle these guys have been throughout the journey. I have never stopped talking about your company values, what the team entails, how they talk to clients, and how they have incorporated any stupid thing that I asked on the group. So I was made so comfortable. I did not used to post a lot of queries being an introvert. I did not used to do that. And they were like, why are you not putting anything? We are not getting anything from you. Just put anything. Nahi neendari, put it on the group.
Uh,
You can't do the meditation, put it on the group. I was made so comfortable that I started putting everything on the group. I am having bloating with this thing. I'm not liking tur dal. How do I cook fish? How do I not cook fish? I mean, it reached the level where I used to be so informal, use whatever emojis and whatever that my personality is, and be so authentic with them. So that is one thing that I had been working on for the last few months. Be my authentic self. What I actually am without the conditioning that I have received and all that. And I think iThrive's team has helped me do that with them. So that's one thing again I'm that grateful for.
so
And
good to
the
hear that.
company values, how they have treated me, how well I am always communicated with, how well I am taken care of, not like a client but like friend.
A friend, right? Like stuff,
Hmm.
and that's one of the things that was very important for me, and like the team also. I have an amazing team. I'm really blessed. Like people struggle with finding the right kind of people to scale their business. I can't tell you how much gratitude I feel towards the universe, to God, every single day when I look at the team and there, because they know what another human being needs when someone starts, and they're so young, money, right? Like I'm 44. It took me so many years of like going through my life.
44. Oh, you don't look like it either.
Yeah, but anyway, it took me like a lifetime of experience to figure out what is it that other humans would need, right? These guys are like, they're so young, like Pankuri, Shayonika, both are like 1 year's experience. Like they're like babies when I think of them, but they have so much wisdom and so much gentleness and so much authenticity and care, right? It just comes in from deep within them, and like they're able to guide someone like you who's already been doing so much work on yourself and like hold that space for you and make you feel safe so that you can express and be your authentic self. So they're incredible. How did it feel like when that blood test analysis was done, when the health report was made? Like what? Because I'm sure that must have been like the first time when you went through such an extensive list of tests, right? What was that experience like?
I was flabbergasted to know what has been happening in my body. So I did not know that I had insulin issues as well, which leads to diabetes. And there were some kidney parameters which were very messed up. And I never thought I had this going inside my body. And no doctor, no one in the past has done that before. So I was like, wow, this is something very new. What I had been earning for last 3 or 2.5 years, what I had been earning for if I did not invest in such a thing. And it's not that big an amount. I mean, if you're earning, and even if you're not earning,
Thank you
I
for
think this
saying
is.
that. People get so scared when we say like this is the investment you need to make. Yeah, but
Yeah, it is a good investment, but this is the best that you can do. I am very proud to say, and I told my sister and my family also, that this is worth more than all the Forever New dresses that I had been buying, all the cafes I had been spending money on. And if I knew this earlier, but obviously things come on their right time, which is called the
you can't.
divine
Yeah.
timing,
So you have to be
right?
emotionally ready. Like you
Yeah,
have to be able to ready to. Like you have to be able to receive also, right? What's coming.
right. Yeah, so few months back, I think I was very much prepared to receive this blessing into my life, and that's how I did it. And I have been telling my parents that this is the best investment that I have, made till now. And I really wish I knew this earlier so that I could do this earlier and start this journey before. And my father said, this is just the right time, and this is your right time. So trust the timing. And yeah, matlab, it's so wonderful. And you were talking about your team being wonderful, but I think, of course, they are wonderful, but a lot of it comes from your values. I am very sure that you as a leader, and have inculcated those values in your team, which shows up in the chats, which shows up in the emojis, which shows up in everything that they do.
No,
So
I must tell you, like a lot of the stuff is there. Like, so if you had like experienced me as a coach, of course I'm kind and all of that, but I'm like that strict kind person because I'm also like I'm a mom, so a little bit of that momness is there in me. Like if you were part of the old, like the earlier community, like you're in the 2022 tribe, right? So there's like the earliest where I used to work solo with people.
mm,
Now they tell me like we used to be so scared of, because I've see, for me it's like I have 3 short months with you, right? Like, and in those 3 months I have to bring about so many changes, and then like
mm,
I don't really want you to veer off or anything. So I'm rather strict, and I'm telling you, this team is much more gentler than I am. So the
mm,
values are shared. Like we know what we want, but
mm.
the way they actually interact with you is entirely their stuff. So all credit goes to them. It's not me. It's them.
It's wonderful. I really appreciate Shayonika, my nutritionist, and my health coach, Pankuri. It has been such a. Earlier, I used to get, pissed off thinking that, okay, I have made an investment like that. What is it going to turn out as? Will I be able to avoid the foods which are not suitable in body. What if, being an anxiety prone person, I had all these kinds of thoughts in my mind every day while working and typing and thinking what will happen, what will not happen types. So I used to quiet myself, give it some time, have some faith and all that. So I used to quiet myself while working, on my everyday thing. And how beautiful it turned out after 1 month. I was like waiting for Shayonika's text, good morning, Mani, good morning, Mani, and all that. I used to wait, provide all the details, fill my tracker, what I ate the last day, what I did not eat the last day. And one day I remember my dad bought some jalebi, okay, and I was like, no, I really want to have this jalebi. And I had it, and I opened the Excel sheet after that. I wrote that I had jalebi in the morning, and in bracket I wrote, "Please forgive me for this." And those guys said, कि "It's okay. मतलब you have been following good amount of discipline, so it's okay, it's fine. But always remember that it's not good for health. It's not going to contribute to reversal of the chronic disease that you're having, and all that." After that, I never had jalebi. I never had a craving of having
Really
jalebi.
good.
Hmm. Right now, I'm in a position where I honor my body so much, and I'm
And
like,
how powerful does that make you feel? Do you, like,
yeah, it brings everyday fulfillment for me. And had it not been iThrive, I don't think I would have done that alone. It's a tough journey, and it definitely is a tough journey. So my friends look at me now and they're like, "You have lost some kilos, your skin is glowing better, you are feeling better." And I'm like, "You don't know how I'm feeling. It's much more better than what you can see."
you see?
And there are a few friends female friends who are having PCOS issues, thyroid issues, and all that. So I don't force them, but I definitely like give this word that okay, go ahead, make this investment for yourself. You are not making lakhs salary in a month for nothing. Cafe hopping is not going to work. Big brand shopping is not going to work in the long term. But if you make this investment, this is going to be so fulfilling in the
It's
end.
really that, right? It's more of like the inner, your external health is a reflection of what's happening inside, and you
Definitely.
are the only one who would really know what's happening inside. Like no one outside, they're just going to see a reflection of that inner joy and that inner wellness that you experience, right? But that's an experience that you want everyone to have, and I can understand why you're telling your friends and your community and everyone, because you want everyone to feel what you're feeling. Like when I started off, it was the
Right.
same thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, it feels so good to be like this. Like just feel this. Like I don't want to see you tired. I don't want to see you fatigued. I don't want to see you naked. Like I want you to wake up every morning with like joy and like feel like, oh my god, I get another day to live and I want to do so many things with my
Hmm.
time. Like that is the feeling I want for everyone, and I can see it's not there, and I know how to make that happen for you. And like, why aren't you just starting, right? That's how I would often feel.
Right. But yeah, I also feel that urge to make people understand how beautiful this journey is. But then some people are unable to understand because they are victim of their circumstances. It's
Also,
not their
it's not
right
that time,
time.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not their right time. So it's very important to give them space also to process their right time. But it's also important that I keep bugging them once in a while. Ki, okay, we talked about this last time. How about you? How are you feeling right now about it? And all that. But I really feel like inspiring people to go into this journey
You
because
are an inspiration to me, Mani. Like the way you're speaking about your journey, I'm feeling so inspired right now
I'm so
listening to you.
glad.
What
Hmm.
was your biggest challenge? What was your biggest obstacle during these 3 months, like the 90-day program?
Biggest challenge was understanding in my entire last 23 years I never knew that I was gluten intolerant. And
Okay.
I bloating was a constant thing for me. I
Okay.
lived with bloating as a part of my body. And when I
Okay.
started eliminating gluten from my food and realized with the help of your team that probably I am gluten intolerant, and I started feeling light, energized, a different kind of money. And I'm like, what is this? And where is this coming from? And eventually I realized it was a mixture of all things, but the biggest was the gluten, which I was intolerant to. And I couldn't feel any better. So, right now, no matter what kind of situation is in the world, I know that I don't want to have gluten anymore. And golgappe are my favorite thing. I have them once in a while, but I really don't feel good after having it, to be honest. But yeah, and I think I have done so much of discipline work, so much of it in the past that it allows me to have my favorite foods once in a while. But to be honest, there are no cravings like that I really want to have it, really want to start having milk or anything. And in my family, in my friend circle, and also with my partner, I keep telling them which foods to, check or experiment with, which foods to not stop having and all that. So, and I feel good because I am being given a chance because of your team and because of the work to make a difference in someone else's life, and that matters a lot to me. I get good sleep after that. So yeah, that is
Good. And
uh,
do you think this is sustainable? Because a lot of people have that question for me and for the team, right? Like, okay, we're going to be with you for 3 months, and then yes, we'll see all the changes that you're saying are going to happen. Now you've finished 3 months, you finished the 90-day journey. Do you think you can sustain what you've learned, what you've gained in terms of health for the rest of your life?
Oh my God. Really? If it hadn't been the team, I don't think it would have been sustainable. But what I had done in the last 3 months, how I have been trained with the team, how I have been helped with by the team, I think it's really sustainable if one is very adamant about their physical health and all that. So it's not just a 3 month journey. It's a big promise to yourself to work on yourself every day. And 3 months is a good time to set those habits and
Did,
routines.
did the games and the challenges and all of that, did that help? Like the
Yeah, they were fun quizzes and everything, very interactive. So I am a very curious person. So I used to read every article that the team used to send, and the team is like, "Did you read that well? We have a quiz for you." And I used to do that quiz and everything used to be right and all. So I was like, nice, I'm
smart, right?
retaining it. I'm retaining it. So I used to feel good that I'm retaining it and all. And I used to show it to Pankudi, who was my health coach. Let's see, I've retained it. And they were like, oh, wonderful. We are going to send you a good high level quiz next time. So that is great. How
Yeah,
the team
because
is trying to make
yeah,
more
that's one
impact.
thing I want to bring forth as well, right, through this work. That like often people relate getting back into a state of health or making changes for your health as very serious,
Hmm.
boring, mundane work, right? Like that's the mentality because the word diet comes in, and then I actually dislike the word diet because the image itself is so restrictive and it makes you feel like very contracted, right? It's not a very expansive feeling, and often people think it's so it's hard work. I'm not denying that, but it's like anything, even your career. If you are going to work hard if you really want to reach a certain place, right? But you can do it in two ways. One is you
Right.
can make it drudgery and boring, and like you can just think of it like that, or you can think of it, oh, this is so much fun, and I'm getting to do this, and I want to learn more. So we wanted to bring that element of learning and fun in these 3 months, right? And I'm glad you actually experienced it that way because it's got to be like that, right? That's what really creates change. That's rewarding in the long run. So
Right.
that's good to know.
That's
And
completely right. Hmm.
like as we because I like we like asked for about 30-35 minutes of your time.
Mhm.
So any message that you want to kind of leave for the viewers, any message that you want to kind of tell the audience, like people who are watching now, people who are going to watch this in the future also, what's the one message that you want to kind of pass out to them?
So one thing that I strongly feel is that sitting jobs are increasing, so are chronic diseases increasing. Lifestyle is changing at a very high pace. It's not what it used to be. So definitely there is something wrong that we are doing that is giving rise to chronic diseases.
Absolutely.
So understanding what's being wrong here and making it right is very important for each one of us, be it on terms of body, in terms of mind, in everything. So buying capacity in a country like India, which is in a developing state, is also increasing. And so is the need to focus on from survival to safety, from survival to good health is also increasing, which some people fail to understand. Partying on the weekends is very fun, but it's not going to work in the long run, right? So with increasing pay and everything, it's time for us to start shifting from, the survival mode which our parents used to live in because of their circumstances. It was required, right?
Right.
It's important for us, our generation, to understand the importance of the overall health, mental health, physical health, and all that. And very important at the same time to pay attention to what we are feeding to our bodies, how we can make it better, how we can make the situation better. And yeah, I mean, 9 to 5 jobs, everything is very cool. But at the same time, investing on your health is very important. If you don't do it, nobody else is going to
No,
come
and
do
it's,
it for
your
you.
body is your own, right? Like no
Right.
one else has your body. It's your job to take care of it, because when you need your body support, like see, the 20s are really your body's peak zone, like you have
Hmm.
the highest
Right.
energy and everything. But then as you chronologically start aging, if you've not invested in your body in the 20s, it's, I tell people it's like a credit card, right? So like, I mean, not a credit card, it's literally like an account. So
Hmm.
you can either keep making debits,
Hmm.
which is partying and alcohol and
Hmm.
smoking and like no sleep and all of that. In your 20s, you can just keep making a lot of debits and withdrawals.
Hmm.
You're going to have an account that's going to be negative as you
Hmm.
as you spend more time on this planet. Or you could keep choosing to make deposits, which is like eating the right kind of things, taking your supplements, doing all of that, right? Like you just keep
Hmm.
depositing health currency into your body's account, so that at a later point of time you actually receive the compounded benefit of that, right? It's literally like a bank account. So you can either choose to make a lot of debits and then you're going to suffer the consequences of a depleted account,
Hmm.
or you keep making deposits, keep
Hmm.
crediting into that account, which is your body, and then you'll receive the abundance of really good health at a point where you think it's not even possible, right? Like most people correlate aging with poor health. It doesn't have to be like that.
Yes, it doesn't
Right?
have to be like
Yeah.
that. We talk so much about diet and everything. Now that you mentioned supplements, I have to mention how better I have felt after, giving my body what it required, but it was not getting from food, because we can't get everything from food, considering all the adulteration that happens these days and everything. So yeah, I mean, I had never taken any supplements before this, so I was skeptical about it.
Skeptical.
But
And most people are skeptical because they look like pills, right?
mm,
And you'll be like, why am I taking so many medicines? And then like you have to tell them this is not medicine, this is like nutrition. But anyway, go
right.
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my friends said, bless your medicine before having it, and bless it while you are having it, because some of the supplements taste bad and all that. So I used to make faces, but he said, keep bless them before having it. They are not medicines. They are something that your body requires, and not many people and doctors understand. So one thing I also want to say is that no matter how much you earn, if you don't pay attention to your body, you are going to invest huge amount of it into the medical industry, which is again going to be very difficult in future. So why not work on it, from the present moment itself, so that you don't have to invest so much in the future in medical industry, which is anyway just medicines and everything working on the superficial level. So why not work at the root causes of the things and make a better life that you already are living? Another thing which I also realized is that your our body is a home to the soul, right? So if we want to enhance the soul journey, provide a good home to the soul, it's very important that we feed it good things, consume good content, and everything that you put inside your body is making an impact. Even thoughts are making an impact, every thought that you think.
And this is the thing, right? I'm so glad you got the thoughts thing. Like
Hmm.
I tell people this, like your thoughts are something that your body listens to. Like
Right.
you will share some of your thoughts with the rest of the world, but every thought that you think, your body is listening to it, and you might not even be conscious about it. Like even the deepest subconscious thought that you have, your body knows. Because
Yeah.
your body exists for one and one purpose only. It is to ensure that your existence is protected and you not just survive, but you actually thrive and you reach your peak potential. Your body
Hmm.
is there for that. So every thought that you have, your body is listening to it and processing it and saying, "Oh, okay, this is what you're thinking. Let me see how I can make you safer. Let me see how I can make you safer." So even like trauma, because I work with a lot of people around their trauma and emotions and mental health, right? And often the seed of everything they're experiencing now is rooted usually in some childhood stuff, and the body has listened to that, the body has experienced that, and the body has entirely created systems around that so that the child
Hmm.
that got hurt will never be hurt again. Like that's what the body is trying to do, right? And
Right.
sometimes it doesn't. Like in my case, when I was like clinically obese, I was 97 kgs at one point of time. It was because I was in the situation, I was in an absolutely narcissistic relationship. My energy was being abused, right? Like my actual energy was being misutilized. It was being like fed off and all of that. And my body was trying to keep me safe. So it was armoring up and it was armoring up and it was
Hmm.
armoring up. So much layers of fat and like, just protecting me and
Hmm.
like it, to keep me safe because I was shrinking. I was losing myself, right? So to kind of keep me safe, the body kept expanding. And
Hmm.
the minute I walked out of that, of course, I made changes. I looked at my blood work and all, but I do contribute a large degree of my turnaround in terms of my health to walking out of situations that were really harmful for me. So the body kind of said, okay, now you're not in a state of like threat. So
Hmm.
maybe I can let go of the extra padding and the insulation I held around me, right?
Hmm.
I did that, and I see this like I see this especially in cases where excess weight, like see, one is you could have a dysfunction like insulin resistance or a thyroid
Hmm.
problem,
Hmm.
right? But often, even despite that or despite eating right, if the body is unable to let go of weight, it usually has something to do with like kind of being protective of your consciousness itself, right? That's
Totally. Hmm.
what your parents will even do. Like, your body is literally
Hmm.
doing that, and yeah, so thoughts are totally processed by your body, and that's why the mental work and the emotional work becomes really important.
Yeah, right. And how chronic diseases are giving, being given rise to because of all the, all that happened in past and
Can you see
what.
Shayonika's comment there? She
Thank you so much, Ionika. You have been so much of great help in my journey. I can't even express that in words. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Louise Hay, and she talks about how thoughts, how childhood issues give rise to these diseases. So people who have diabetes, who have PCOS, who have thyroid, it's it's not just that eating medicines will help it reverse it or something like that, but it's all about doing the deep work so that whatever has been causing it can be rooted out from the body and you can get back to your actual healthy self. And it's possible for everyone.
it is,
i
it is.
I have heard cases where people have cured their cancer with good diet, good organic health, thought, belief systems, removing the limiting beliefs from their body. If cancer can be cured, so can other chronic diseases like diabetes, PCOS, thyroid, anxiety, depression, what not. It's all about how much we are ready to cure it. I don't think that anything is irreversible at all.
It's not at all. That's Shayonika's comment, and then this is Avinash.
Thank you,
We
Avinash.
really are out there inspiring people, money. So keep on going. I am personally very proud of you, and I know you're going to inspire more people to kind of
Oh
get on this
yes.
journey,
Hmm.
and I'm sure you're going to create like a ripple of health around you through your own community, and that's what the world needs. We really need more people who are actually walking this path of taking care of themselves, mind, body, soul, emotions, so that the entire planet itself can heal. That's what humanity needs, and I'm so proud of you for being that one human who decided to make that choice and like walk on.
Thank you so much. And I have to say how much you are an inspiration. And also, I love what you post on Instagram and what you post on our groups, which inspires us every day to take that step every day. So it has been a tough journey. I did not know how to do things, how not to do things. But your team, you, people like you who spread word like this are people holding torch for others. You when I was
You
unsure
just
about
make me cry. Okay, like I get very emotional when someone says nice things. So
you deserve this. And
okay.
other thing is that when I was so skeptical about starting my journey with iThrive, I was very doubtful, and I read your journey. I think on the website or I don't know where. I read that you had issues like thyroid, you had issues like anxiety, depression, and some other chronic diseases also, which you
Oh, I
cured.
was like a full basket case, even to the degree of suicide ideation, everything. Like I just didn't want to live anymore.
I am very sure because when one hits that rock bottom, that's when one climbs
Growth
up.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, if they are willing to. Which brave enough. You were brave enough to take that step. Thank you so much for that. And I read your journey. I read about you, and I said, if this woman can do this, I too can. I have few things like anxiety, which I'm already working on, and I have thyroid, which is again not a very big thing to turn around or reverse. I'm like, if she can do it, so can I. I mean, let's go ahead and see.
And I'm glad you did. All right, Mani, it was so lovely speaking with you. You are really an absolute inspiration, and I'm so proud of you. And I know we've gone over time, but I couldn't stop. Like just talking to you was so much fun. So
Thank you
thank
so
you so
much.
much for coming here today and showing the way to so many others. And we shall continue to stay in touch. All right.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Mugdha. Can't be more grateful.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.